Homemade stuffed pepperoni bread. That's kind of misleading because you can put almost anything inside this bread. This fantastic treat can be made using many different ingredients. Put what you like in and leave out what you dislike. I made this pepperoni bread for our poker game that I was in that night. This is homemade, easy, and fast to make. When making your dough from scratch, I use the following directions. I add 1 to 1.5 cups of lukewarm water for every 3 cups of flour. In this case, I used about 7 cups of flour, and I used only 3 cups of water for the whole thing. Then I used, normally when I make a pizza, I use 1 package of yeast for every 3 cups of flour. So I used 2 packages this time for this recipe. Also, I add 1 teaspoon of salt, or do it to your taste, and then also 1/4 cup of sugar, or again to your taste. The sugar gives your bread a little bit of a sweet taste. Mix all of these ingredients together in a large bowl. Then add your water, lukewarm, very slowly, and mix until you get a nice firm ball of dough going. Then keep adding water until you get your dough. And to keep the dough from sticking to your hands, what I do when I'm mixing this is I take a little bit of cooking oil, vegetable oil, and I add it to my hands and rub it around on my hands, get my hands nice and oily. That way I can roll and knead the dough until it's ready to set and rise. The dough doesn't stick to my hands. It's easy to handle. Now, like I said, I used just over 7 cups of self-rising flour to make this dough. Then I set it aside. I let the dough set for about an hour, hour and a half at room temperature. A quick way to rise the dough is cut on your oven for about 20-25 seconds. Turn the oven off then, and place your dough inside the oven closed. That way it will rise fairly quick. Now I divided my dough in half. I used 1/2 to make the bottom of the pepperoni loaf of bread. Then I added a generous layer of pizza sauce. Then the layers of salami, pepperoni, onions, bell peppers, mushrooms, and I used 2 different cheeses. You use whatever you like. Then I took the other half of dough and placed it on top of all these ingredients, making a loaf of bread. Now for baking instructions, for a large bread like this, I baked it at 375 degrees for 40 minutes. I was running out of time that evening, so I didn't have enough time to allow the top of the bread to completely brown. I made this bread, like I said, I made it mild. For most of our poker players, they're not into spicy food. You can add spicy sausage and peppers to this, and that makes a really fantastic bread if you like spicy, like I do. Now, try this recipe. I know you will love it. Play around with it, add things that you like, and give it a try. You have a nice day now.